Kakarot! Kakarot! Kakarot!
Is there any other word Z Broly could say? Of course not, because he hates crying for some reason. Anyways, Heyo Buds, Sizemic back again, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And this time, yet again, we're doing another Kaiju-Lapse video. So in this episode, we'll be going over the origin and process of one of my favorite edits I've made so far. So let's get into how this edit came to be. So if you saw in my last Kaiju-Lapse video, you would know I mentioned the fact that I watched the first Broly movie right after finishing Dragon Ball Z, along with Fusion Reborn, Return of Cooler, and Wrath of the Dragon. And while nowadays I think it's the second best Dragon Ball Z movie, not counting the Super movies, I still think it's a very fun movie to watch, and Z Broly himself is such a unit of a character. So, what does a Wild Sizemic do once they've gained another favorite character? Well, of course they make the right decision and spend $200 friggin' on the SH Figure Arts Broly figure, of course. Who would it? Okay, all jokes aside, I did decide to purchase this figure. And everything was great besides, in my opinion, the color of his hair. Because, you see, the Broly figure I got was the first one they made. So the hair was more of the traditional Super Saiyan yellow color. But in his first film, his hair was green. So I knew I was going to repaint his hair. So I bought some greens to do it, and while I think I may have made the hair a little too dark, the final product was more faithful to his film counterpart. I feel I'm missing something here. What? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this was another collab edit. Heh. Whoop. After repainting Broly's hair, I decided this next edit should be special. So, I got in touch with TFT again and asked them if they wanted to do yet another edit, and thankfully, they agreed. So with that, we've made plans, took our photos, and now, here's the process. So, first things first with this edit is I gotta mask out Godzilla and Broly. So, as you can see here, I'm just kind of finalizing it and then masking Godzilla out. Next step was to create the background for everything, since, that's kind of the basics of editing. I don't have to tell you that. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of, that's the thing, usually with a lot of my editing, it's just a bunch of stock photos, and it's not really the quality, well, of course with some exceptions, it's not really the quality of the image, it's more or less how you put it into the scene, and how you properly light it. I mean, if you see right there, that one, like, cratering effect around Broly, I mean, that's poorly, poorly masked out, but as you'll see later on, they worked out. So now I'm just kind of properly lighting everything in the scene, just making it look a tad bit more realistic. So now I'm just putting Godzilla and Broly in and properly lighting them in. So, and then and also another thing, you saw that I put the moonlight on Godzilla, and now once again I had my friend, I had my friend construct, I cannot speak. I had my friend criticize my work and just have them tell me how I could improve it anyway. So as you see here, I'm just adding in a bunch of shading and highlights, and I decided to add Godzilla's glowing effect on his spine, since, it's a Godzilla edit, so of course you gotta have that nice blue glow effect in there. And now I'm just adding shading to the rocks now, and then next up I started on Broly's shading, so now I'm just doing the gauntlets on his the shine on his gauntlets. Gosh, I cannot speak today. And I just started doing the highlights on his skin. So yeah, just adding in all the highlights to his muscle structure. So yeah, nothing really much I could say here other than just kind of, I felt like this was a pretty easy process to do. It's just very, I guess it's a little tedious with having to shade all of it because of the amount of, attention you would need to some spots. For instance, on his huge biceps, I had to use a different brush on those to even shade those in. So now I'm just doing his hair and his eyes just to give it that glowing effect. And I'm pretty sure I started shading his hair here just to make it look a little bit more defined, so that way you could actually see the shape of his hair. Then did some shading on his pants, just some final adjustments. Then I started on the glowing effect, and as you can see here, I'm really struggling trying to figure out what to even do with his fist, and I think eventually I just settled on an energy ball like that, kind of traditional to what his original energy attacks looked like in his film. So, and I'm pretty sure I tried to do it on both sides, but I realized that that wouldn't work, so I just gave up on it. And then just finalizing the lighting effects, and then yep, the Super Saiyan aura for him, because that comes standard, much like with Godzilla. So then after that, I started adding some glowing effect to his mouth, and I'm pretty sure after that we were finished. So yeah. Voila, the finished product. Now, I do want to say that this edit was made back in March, and now it's June, so I do see some flaws in my editing back then. But regardless, I love the intensity and colors of this edit, and someday I would love to come back to this and edit it once I've become more experienced with photo editing, as I know already I could do much better, but I think that's a project for future me, a couple years down the line. However, for now, I hope you guys like this edit and seeing the process of how it was made, and I hope you guys are pumped to see more Kaiju-Lapse videos, along with the future speed sculpting videos. But with that, I'm Sizemic, subscribe if you're interested, drink plenty of water, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace out!